Well, hello again. It's The World According to Sam Marshall, and today I am delighted to have with me Jalpa Lai. Jalpa and I met just before Christmas, end of November, I think. And I felt the synergy with Jalpa straight away. Jalpa is a company called Lollywise. I was going to say is from, but you are Lollywise.
Yeah.
And Jalpa helps to maximize your financial potential, helps you achieve your dreams. She helps young people to navigate the hashtag road to adulthood in all aspects of life. And she's very eager to arm young people with financial and life skills. And I feel a real synergy with this, Jalpa. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm really delighted to have you here. So, a long time ago in the dim, distant, murky past, when I lived down in Devon, I used to work in an education establishment who worked with 16 to 18-year-olds that had come out of school. They had no academics and they really didn't know what they wanted to do. Many of them were alcohol dependent. Most of them had anger issues. Some had even been sexually abused, financially abused. There was a whole raft of reasons why these young people just didn't achieve in school. And the role of my team and I were to take them and in 12 weeks, get them a maths and English qualification and get them into work. Well, you can imagine that was quite a difficult task. But when I heard about Lollywise and when I heard about what you were trying to do, it really struck a chord with me. So how did it all come about?
It's interesting because I did have a different career in the past. So I got myself an IT degree many years ago, and then I had the career, and then I left to raise kids and stuff. And then I started doing some voluntary work. I lived in Jersey for a bit, didn't do much there except raise the kids. And then I came over here and I was looking for work, and I thought I'll start with some voluntary work. So I started helping young people who are on universal credit move into employment. And I think for me, that's where it all started, because I had a few light bulb moments there. And I suddenly felt, wow, this is like quite life-changing, seeing people go from little hope, lots of barriers, different challenges, to actually getting some optimism in their life and being able to move forward. It's a myth that everybody wants to be in universal credit. They don't. Most people want to work and they want to have a purpose. And then at the same time, I started a different job, which is looking after international students at boarding school, again, young people. I was heavily involved at my tennis club, again, young people. So it was like tying together. So for the past 8 to 10 years now, actually, it's all been about young people. And so then after that mentoring opportunity about working with these people on universal credit, and there was a lot of neurodiverse young adults there as well, which was quite interesting for me because I hadn't really come across many neurodiverse people before, and that I found stretched me a little bit. But afterwards, it became really comfortable. So I think I am quite neurodivergent friendly. And I now, my daughter's been diagnosed with ADHD. So I actually am the mother of someone with ADHD. It's just funny how the universe was actually lining me up. Maybe, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then when I thought, you know what, I really like this mentoring thing. I think I'd like to do a proper coaching qualification. So I kind of found my path. And at the same time, there's a few people in my network and two people who I'm close to. They both were financially trapped, but for very different reasons, which obviously I'm not going to share, but completely different. One related to debt, another just trapped because no handle on finances. And I thought, I started reflecting back on my own kind of financial situation and how much I know. And I decided actually I have been quite unempowered, quite fortunate because I was a good saver. But actually I didn't really know much more than that. And I thought, this is not how young people should be. They're coming out of school with 0 lessons. And the only reason I had any kind of financial kind of good habits was because my dad used to teach me, but well, he then died when I was 27. So what I realized at that point is that my financial education actually stopped there, because had he been alive, I think he would have taught me about investments or just like that general guidance. My mum's, didn't have to be good with money. So my dad did it all. So I haven't received any lessons from her except to be prudent and live within my means. So all of this together, I thought, you know what, I'd quite like to kind of pursue this. So I started to look at financial courses, and I found the Wise Monkey organization, and Simone Nesson, who is Wise Monkey, she's the longest service, she's the first financial coach in the UK. So she's been going about 25 years now. So I dropped, and we just entered the pandemic, so I didn't have to go anywhere, so I could do this course. So it really did all line up. And then I did that, and I thought, I guess I need to start a business now. I mean, what am I going to do? How am I going to get clients? And then so I started a business that I never thought I would ever do. And so that's where it all started. But there was a real, because I'd worked with these adults who were struggling with their money, and I helped them even before my qualification, help them like manage their universal credit, what was coming in, what was going out. I just thought, if you get your money sorted out, then that opens up your life, basically. It reduces anxiety, reduces stress. You can literally stop living paycheck to paycheck, and you can actually craft the life that you want. And so that was where it all kind of came together.
Wow. I mean, we're going through the other end now. My husband's been wading through paperwork with regard to pensions, and we're both very lucky because we come from an age where the government were actually paying quite a lot of attention to young people and pensions.
Yeah.
So we've outsourced for all of our working life. That doesn't appear to be something that is discussed now. And I think you're absolutely right. A young person coming out of school, certainly, if they're going to university, I think they're going to learn to budget fairly quickly. And it could be why the bank of mum and dad is so heavily used. If they're going to go into the workplace, I remember my first few wage packets, and the money came in on a Friday and was gone by Monday. Now, if someone could have sat down and said to me, whatever the thinking was at the time, pots of money to put it away, money wallets, investments, whatever. I've sort of got into investing in my 30s and 40s. And that's paying dividends for us now. So I really admire what you're doing, and certainly love the fact that it's with young people. But I'm intrigued about the company name. So tell me, why Lollywise?
So at that time, going back to, I've got to start a business now, I need a name. And I used to have a friend who's not with me anymore. We used to dog walk together every day. He was like in his 80s, but very, very young at heart, very, fit. And so we were just like really good friends. And he said to me one day, I was doing a little project for somebody, and I wasn't really enjoying it. And he said to me, don't worry, it's all about the lolly. Now, being somebody of that age, lolly to him was the old-fashioned term for money. And in the UK anyway, I'm not sure globally, but that's what it means. And I said to him, no, it's not, because if you look after your money, then you've got choices, and I don't have to do this, and that's my whole ethos is, if you look after your money is going to look after you. It sounds like a cliche, but it's true. It gives you options, it gives you comfort. And beyond a certain level of money, you know, you don't need a lot of money really. And if you do get a lot of money, then try and do some good with it. So yeah, and so Lollywise stuck. So yes.
I love it. I think it's brilliant. For me, it does what it says on the tin, to steal that that statement. You become wise about lolly, about money. So
Yeah.
I love that. So where are you at now with it? Where can we find you for Lollywise?
So my like pet project at the moment, and I suppose my dream really is, so I've started a school community, and thank you very much. You're sharing your expertise and supporting young people in there with me. So that's really nice. But I need to get young people in there. So I'm looking for entrepreneurs, business owners. When you say young these days, it can be from 18 to 35, 40. Everybody's welcome, really. If they feel young, they can come in. And if they're older, then they can come in and support the young people that hopefully will eventually fill the room. But it's really so that I can build a network for them. So, you know, create that space, that club almost, if you like. And then they all kind of, you know, can network with each other. Everybody's probably going through the same thing or has been through it at some point, so share, but they also got access to me. So I do business mentoring. I volunteer for the King's Trust. I do life coaching, and I do financial coaching. So, you know, there's a lot that I can offer them from a support point of view. So that is the dream at the moment. So to get people in, I'm doing various things to you know, invite people into the school community.
And I think I need to just clarify for those people that haven't heard, we're not talking about SCHOOL. We're talking about SKOOL. It's an online community. I'm going to call it a gated community because you need to have a username and a password to get in there. And then within that community, you will find I've got 3 different communities on school that I use for different things, and you are one of them. The idea then is it is a safe place to go.
Completely safe place. And also the idea is to participate. So, you know, we want people to communicate. We want momentum in there. It's not a place of hard work, but we want it to be lively. We want things happening in there. And there's a classroom. I'm always putting up resources. And my you know, dream is that if somebody says, oh, I don't know how to do this, I could say, oh, like, let me make you a template and I'll put it in there and then you can all access it. So there's a lot to gain. It's free at the moment. So if you come in early, then, you know,
well, absolutely
great. Yeah, well, you can help me grow it.
It's another way of being wise with your lolly.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So you've sort of alluded to the fact that the people that you want to help are young people, sort of, you're talking the 18 to 35 type age group, which is lovely. You've talked about those of us that are longer in the tooth. We are coming in to support you with our own viewpoints, maybe our own experiences, what's worked for us. So that should help take some of the strain off you, but also give a different viewpoint or reinforce a viewpoint, which is just as important with a young person. So let's focus on someone that needs help but doesn't know they need help. So your ideal client, as it were. What sort of struggles might they have been having, or what might they be presented with?
So the ideal client for me at the moment is somebody who earns money but has got nothing to show for it. And the reason they haven't got anything to show for it is what you alluded to previously, is that tracking thing. So most of us, I was guilty of that for a long time in my life. Money came in, money came out. I didn't go into debt, but I wasn't tracking it. Had I tracked it and set up the pot system, and you know, nowadays there's so much information, so it's easier. We had much less information, but tracking it is the big thing. And people, either they don't have time, they're anxious about numbers, or just the money situation, not interested. They've had a bad experience. You know, what money experiences when you were growing up, when you're younger, is quite formative, you know. So everybody has a different money story. And this is my thing, is that I have 2 children, same parents, same upbringing, but they're completely different with money. And everybody has a unique relationship with money. And I think that is a starting point for everybody. So the ideal client is somebody who works really hard, brings in money, but is not building wealth. Or or gets hit with that tax bill and then suddenly thinks, oh my God, all my money's gone and I was going to do X with it. Or they get made redundant and realize they only got a month of essential expenses to live on. These are all the things that we want to mitigate. These are all the things that we want to, you know, put a foundation, a system in place. Going back to my IT days, I like the word system. A system in place. And then all you do is you change the numbers, you tweak it as you move through life, but you know that you've got your stability there. You know you've got your security there. You're ready for that rainy day, literally. And a lot of people aren't, for some of the reasons that I've said. Neurodiverse people with ADHD, you know, deadlines, reminders. They call it the ADHD tax, don't they? Because they're forking out when they don't need to on late payments and things like that. So these are all the type of people that we can help and we would love to see in our community.
Okay. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have my own school community. Do you have to invite people to your community, or can they find you in a similar way to how they'd find you on Facebook?
Yeah, so there is a link, and then obviously I'm the gatekeeper, so I can invite you, but I'm building a funnel as well. So if you take one of my products or whatever, and then you can have the option of coming into the school community, or even a free strategy call with me. So what I've done, just very briefly, is I've written a little AI tool that gives you a financial assessment of your situation and gives you a score and a plan. So you get a 3-action plan straight away that you can implement. So I'm hoping to push that out. And with that purchase, which will be £7, you are automatically invited into the school community.
Beautiful. Now, if people don't know where to find you, if people don't know how to contact you, that first handshake, I'm hoping you're going to give me your details so I can put it on a lovely little end slide. But would you like to tell us, is there an email address? Is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, so lollywise.com is the website, and there's contact buttons on there, or jalpa@lollywise.com. They can email me. And if anybody's got any burning questions about money, then feel free to email, and give me 2 or 3 days to get back to you, but I will get back to you.
Lovely. So we've talked about clients. Let's talk about those people that are going to support you now. Do you signpost on to, for example, mortgage brokers or financial establishments or savings plans? Accountants, yes. So how do those people contact you if they think they have something to offer you?
Yeah, so they can email me, but yeah, I love referring, and also signposting always, because I do life coaching as well. And often, they need a different professional to help them. So I have signposted many people. Every young entrepreneur needs an accountant, and also financial advisors. So I have a really good friend who's a financial advisor, and I often refer people to him. But all of these people have free 1 hours, so happy to refer to anybody. And I always say to all young people, go get your free half-hour chat, and find out. And that's the thing about empowerment, because I did it the other way around. We went to financial advisors and said, oh, what do you think we should do? Whereas I want young people to be empowered and go to their accountant or to their financial advisor and say, these are my goals, these are my values, help me meet them. So it's really important. Yeah.
I think it's a very different world. I remember with some of these young people that I worked with back in the early 2000s, we actually had a course. I don't know if you've ever heard of the ASDAN course.
No.
And it was the basic building blocks to help a young person start in life.
Right.
And these young people used to get paid to come. They called it college. We weren't a college, but they used to get paid to come. So attend for 5 days, and you would get £45 paid into your bank account on a Friday. So this was your first hurdle. Some of them didn't have bank accounts. So that's where we started with them. We helped them set up a bank account, and then we paid their money in. Then we did budgeting. We also went into what are the foodstuffs that you can buy that are nutritional, but actually cheap, because £45 does not go far. Excuse me. So we built it up that way. Now, we had some stunning success with some, and we had some awful failures. And I've already tracked the sort of lifestyle that some of them came from. They had no intention of using the money for food. It was for their drugs or for their vodka or for their whatever they needed. And that was a whole other side that we needed to deal with. But the beautiful bit for me was when we actually would get them into work experience or find them a job in the local area, so that some could walk to work, some could get a bus to work. So they weren't having to spend all their money on a car or a moped. They could get where they needed to go, and they could earn real, proper cash. And seeing how that changes someone's life. There's going to be a recurring theme throughout the world, according to Sam Marshall, and it is all going to be about feelings. You are another person. When I first met you, I felt that there was some connection between us straight away. I've seen you in action for several weeks now. You are described as the ray of sunshine in one of our networking groups, and you are.
Thank
no
you.
matter what is going on in your life, you are a smiley, happy person. So whether you leave whatever is happening at your home at the door and you focus on the people in front of you, that's what's needed. You know the old adage, you may not remember what someone does for you, but you'll remember
how they made you feel. And that's quite important, because as you know, when you start your own business, there's a lot of times when you think, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And that's where that why thing, that which I think we talked about once. And that has really, I think of all the advice and all the lessons I've learned in my 4-year journey, I would say that is the most important thing, is your why, knowing why you're doing something. Because my why, I mean, it's on my LinkedIn profile, but it was that person who was stuck in their room playing video games, not talking to anybody, not having friends, all of it. And then they went from there, they went to art college, and they were moving away. They were on anti-anxiety medication, and we went for a dog walk because they wanted to become a dog walker. And I said, oh, come with me and see how you get on. And as we were walking, I said, oh, are you going to change GPs for your medication? And she said, no, I'm not on medication anymore, because you gave me a sense of purpose. And that is my why, because when you get a moment like that, you think, no, I've got to carry on, you know. And the work that you did with young people, the lives that you changed, where they are now, they may not have been if they hadn't, you know, come onto that program and met you. So it's all very valid.
And I do think that there's a lot spoken about young people, and I actually think 99.99% of young people want to achieve, and whatever achievement means to them.
Yes, they do. they get a bad press and they're given bad press. That's what I think. The media fills them with doom and gloom, and you'll never be able to do this, and but that's not true. Not really. It is hard times. I'm not disputing that at all. They probably have it harder than we did. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that they can't flourish and they can't, live a beautiful life. They absolutely can.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm smiling because there is the news report at the moment that says no one is going to get on the property ladder until they're 35. Just look at what's happening in London. Well, yes, that is happening in London, but there are many other places in the world that have houses. There are many villages, towns, and cities that have property. I can understand if you're born and brought up in London, you probably do want to stay in London. But my encouragement to everyone, young or more mature, is actually get out there and experience something different. I started life in Buckinghamshire. I went to Devon. I'm now in Scotland. I'm not anticipating leaving Scotland, but there's still a whole raft of the United Kingdom that I haven't lived in. So never say never, and going to a different place will make a different it will make a difference to the money in your pocket at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. But also, even if you are in London, if you've got a good income, if you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to budget, if you're willing to track your money, then great things, you can achieve great things. And I think that's what the media don't they don't teach young people anymore about patience or discipline, a little bit of sacrifice. And we had to sacrifice when we were younger. Everybody's had to sacrifice at some stage, but they don't talk about that anymore. It's just that you can't, you won't, and I think they're all barriers. I think young people should not listen to that. They should listen to what's going on inside here, be an action taker, and then things can really turn around quickly.
Well, I love that, Jalpa. Be an action taker. You've been an action taker by coming on my podcast today, and for that I thank you.
I have.
Is there anything you want to leave the audience with, or do you think you've probably covered it and just get in touch with me at Lollywise?
No, it'd be lovely to hear from people, especially people who want to join the school community and people who would want to help build something, which I really believe will be, a game changer. So welcome me with open arms, anybody who wants to contribute to that. So yeah, and any questions, if anybody's feeling stuck, and they don't have to be young and they just want a little bit of guidance, touch point, then yeah, feel free to get in touch.
Lovely. Well, we'll get your contact details put out on the end screen as well, and hopefully it'll be the start of some great things.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun chatting to you. I didn't even feel like I've been recorded, so
and that's really why nice. I like to do it naturally, and it's why I don't send you a list of questions. I sort of tell you in advance what we're going to cover, and then we go for it, because the world according to Sam Marshall is going to be as authentic as it can possibly be.
We like raw and authentic.
Right, excellent. Let me stop the recording. So thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you again soon.